So I want to talk about taking soul time. In my book, it's funny, in chapter 4, I was talking about getting away. And this was such a huge deal. And it happened right at the beginning of my sessions with Jim. I was lying on his table and he asked me, he said, "What do you really want right now?" And I just sort of looked at him. He goes, "No consequences. What would you love to do right now?" And I looked at him and I started crying. And I said, "I just want to go away." And at that time, my children were 2 and 4. I was married. We had a busy dairy farm, a busy life. And I really felt irreplaceable, that if I disappeared, everything would come to a screeching halt and I couldn't leave. My husband would be lost without me. My kids would be lost without me. Everyone else in the world that depended on me would be lost without me. And Jim looked at me and he said, "Well, you could die." And when I realized that if I died, they would figure it out, I realized that going away for a little while would be just fine. So this story happened in 1999. In 1999, the only thing you had to get away from were your children, your husband or wife or partner, family, parents, whoever, your job, and the phone that hung on the wall, and maybe some emails. Today, it's insane. Like, I'm the same. I have my phone with me all the time. Not right now, but I have my phone with me all the time. And we are literally communicated with constantly. So imagine getting away. Imagine setting your phone to, I don't even know how to do this, but setting it to some kind of message that says, "Taking the day off, I'll get back to you tomorrow," or something. And the reason this is so important, and it's not just some you know, technology thing, is that until we're actually quiet, until we actually are just us, we can't hear our inner guidance. We can't hear whatever God is to you, whatever the divine, whatever that inner voice is saying to you. And that inner voice is leading us on our journey. This is the voice that's saying, "Step here, turn right. Did you see that over there? That's fun." If we're never alone, if we're never quiet with our thoughts, we never hear it. And we sit still, constantly answering the texts, checking Facebook, and I like Facebook. I'm not judging this. But it's this constant thing. We never ever, it's like the whirlwind doesn't stop, but if it does, and we actually come to center, first of all, we have to adjust to that because we might have forgotten who we are in all of it, right? So imagine you come to yourself, you're not any of those things, you don't have to talk to anyone, no one has to be texted back right away. If you have children that depend on you, then maybe they text someone else. I mean, I hate to sound old and crotchety, but when I was young, we couldn't text our parents. It wasn't even possible. So we got home and we said we were going to be home, and it was a whole different system. And again, not an anti-technology rant, just saying it's a strange thing we've come up against, that we are never allowed to be quiet. Even, I want to go for a walk. And I think, oh, well, I should bring my phone in case I want to take a picture. There's some disadvantages to having everything on your phone. I'm traveling right now, and someone gave me the advice. They said, whatever you do, if you go hiking, actually take a digital camera. Don't take your phone. Because then you won't be tempted to look at your phone to see who contacted you. So whatever it is that you can do, turning your phone off for a whole day, imagine, or not turning it on until noon. Nothing's that important. And I think we actually will start to train people around us that we're not immediately available. I'm actually allowed to have my own thoughts. I may be lost in thought for hours, listening, writing, walking in the woods, being complete, completely divine, completely physical, having my wonderful human experience, taking real soul time and listening within, and then using technology for the wonder that it is. I mean, this is how I'm communicating this with you now. It's fantastic. We couldn't do this back then, But we need to, when we take that soul time and we remember who we are, then we're the ones using technology for all the wonder that it is. But we have to be able to shut it off. Otherwise, the machine runs the human, and we don't want that. So, whenever you can, whether it's shutting it off after a certain time of day, maybe it's taking a whole Sunday or a whole day off. Can you imagine? And actually allowing the wheels to stop turning and just being with ourselves. It's a whole new world.